Hey, this is Nelson George with a new episode of Follow the Sound. I'm on Columbus Avenue between 95th and 94th Street and at 70 West 95th Street, which I believe is this space here or somewhere over here, was a place called the Cellar. And from 1973 to 1989, it was one of the epicenters of black culture on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. In fact, I used to call this area the Golden Ghetto because it was a very aspirational area. It was the era when black people were getting corporate jobs, when there was more access to housing outside of segregated areas, and a really elite group of black folks resided in this part of town. Howard Johnson started the Cellar. Actually, I think it was open before, but he kind of made it what it was, starting in 73. His son, Brad Johnson, worked as a dishwasher there and then became the booker for talent in 1979 and became a very well-known restaurateur on his own right. So the Cellar was a super aspirational spot for me when I was coming up as a young man. It was a great spot for music. If you looked at any of the R&B stars of New York in the late 80s, a lot of them came through this spot, the Cellar. There was Keith Sweat played in a band here. Melissa Morgan played in a band here. Johnny Kemp Just Got Paid was in a band that was very popular here. So it was a big music spot in terms of bands on the come up. When Giuliani began instituting the very draconian cabaret laws to try and limit the number of band members on the stage, the place switched to comedy. People like Chris Rock walked the stage here, Tommy Davidson. So it was always, and the crowd here was an elite crowd. You would run into Ed Bradley of 60 Minutes came here to have a drink. Arthur Ashe rolled through. So Susan Taylor, who ran Essence Magazine, who was a huge tastemaker in black culture in the 70s and 80s, came through. So it was a very special spot. It had a nice run. It was an elite spot for music, culture, of comedy, and also it's one of the kind of spots that you don't really find in New York anymore, where it had this kind of mix of upscale black life and kind of a hip music scene. So it's very beloved and very missed. It's Nelson George talking about the Cellar. Follow the sound. Please subscribe. More episodes to come.